Hello, everybody, and welcome to my stream. I'm Night and Day Nick. I'm also the host of the Afternoon Tune, and welcome a very special guest with me, Jamarco. What up, man?
Hello, dweebs. How are you?
All right, so reason we came on here today is because Jamarco. I don't know if you know this, but we're kind of in a season of peak right now.
Yes.
Do you understand the sheer gravity of the time we are living in?
My God, just what a week of television, man. Just
I mean, yeah,
start.
if you're a nerd, it's quite a week. The rest of the world, it's
Yeah,
hit or miss.
they don't care.
But yes, we have brand new episodes of like some of Daredevil and Invincible, two shows that I've already covered the first batch of episodes for. We also have brand new Star Wars content, Maul Shadow Lord, which is animated series show run again by I think the patron saint of Star Wars animation with Dave Filoni, and we also
Yes.
have return of them boys.
Woo!
The boys
Them boys
back
back.
for its fifth and final season. And we're gonna get into all of that today. But first, Jamarco, tell the people a little bit about yourself, what you do creatively, where they can find you online and such.
Well, when I'm not talking about movies all day or watching movies all day, I like to make fun little music things. I go by Icky on SoundCloud, all
Hmm.
caps. If you enjoy the musical stylings, the samplings of Jay Dilla, Kanye, pre-Nazi Kanye,
Hmm.
uh,
So
just
so 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 is it what post graduation but pre Yeezy Kanye?
yeah, yeah, exactly. If you love, Jesus, then you'll love me, which is a very small group of people. But yeah, recently I just put out a Beatles tape, so you should probably check that out. I like to make I have this little classic rock thing I do where I like to mess with bands sometimes. But yeah, I'm working on new music all the time. Just love sampling, love I call it like Frankenstein music, taking parts of songs and then putting something together. But yeah,
Nice.
if you enjoy that type of music, like I said, Dilla, Kanye sampling, very tongue in cheek, fun music, then you should check out my instrumentals because they're pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, I've listened to a lot of your stuff. It's fantastic work. It's I love it. I love it.
Well, thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. I try.
1 second, just posting the links out for the people that might be stalking my Facebook and my other socials and whatnot.
Hey, post away. Hey, I could use more followers that aren't bots.
Absolutely. Yeah. So where can they find you on the socials like Instagram, Twitter,
Yes,
Threads,
yes.
whatnot?
Yes, so I'm on Facebook, Jamarco Shaw. I don't know what my profile picture is right now, but I'm usually talking about movies and pop culture irreverence.
Mm.
Twitter, it's Jamarco. That's it's underscore JAMARCO. Letterboxed Jamarco Shaw, all one word. Instagram Jamarco Shaw, all one word. I'm trying to get on the gram more. I post really good
Mhm.
letterbox reviews and lists.
Nice.
Right now, I'm just kind of going through. I've just been going through my retro phase. I might start up my best of 2020 rewatches because I've only seen a lot of those movies once.
Mm.
But yeah. So um, I just put on Charlie's Angels yesterday, so that's a classic. But yeah, what else am I on? I think that's all I'm on right now. Yeah,
Mm.
I'm Twitter, Instagram, Letterbox, Facebook. Say hi to me, holla at me. Disagree with my movie takes. I'm pretty neutral, so I don't bite.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure again to have you on. But let's getting into our first review. I don't know about you, man, but I've been a little hit or miss on Star Wars the last couple years, especially ever since
Ugh.
you know the the sequel trilogy, which yeah,
Yeah, Rise of Skywalker. I was just talking about this today with somebody. So, like
talk about how to kill all momentum of a franchise in just one fell swoop.
like, yeah, there's a Mandalorian movie coming out, and I don't feel anything.
Yeah, there's a Mandalorian movie coming out, and I should be excited, but I am not.
I
But
should, because I see the
and
trailer in every movie I go to.
yeah, but moving on from that, that movie is being directed by Dave Filoni, and I don't know what it is, but every time I see something live action from him, I just feel nothing.
I thought
And
Favreau was doing it.
Favreau, hold up, let me look this
I
up
thought
real quick
Favreau was directing it. I mean,
before
he
I'm talking
doesn't.
out of my ass.
Yeah, I mean, they're the same guy, so.
All right, Mandalorian and Grogu. I could have swore it was Filoni. Oh, nope, it is directed by Jon Favreau.
Oh, okay.
Oh, never mind. Well, it looks like
I
we're
like
getting.
I like cowboys and aliens.
Yeah, I like that movie a lot too. But let's be honest, he's been and Favreau. He gave us one of the most important touchstones of pop culture with Iron Man and basically the MCU.
Yep.
But yeah, but talking about TV, one of the I think great additions to the universe has been with Star Wars: The Clone Wars and what Dave Filoni brought to that. And
Absolutely.
I think for the most part, especially like post season, I think it was either 3 or 4 Clone Wars, it's been kind of banger television. And so have most of the animated spinoffs like Bad Batch and most recently with Maul Shadow Lord. So Maul Shadow Lord
Yes.
picks up a couple years after the end of Clone Wars with Maul getting revenge on a lot of his former gang associates. He founded this group called the Shadow Collective, which got into various misdeeds throughout the Star Wars universe, especially in the havoc of the fall of the Republic and the fall of the Jedi. But now we're getting, I think, a little bit more insight into a character that when he was first introduced, he only had like 3 lines in the entire movie in The Phantom Menace. But now, thanks
Yeah.
to Dave Filoni, and I think a huge part of that is Sam Witwer's voice performance as the character, he's become one of Star Wars' most fascinating villains. And getting to see more of him, especially in a post-Andor world, I think it's like a recipe for great television, especially off of the strength of this 2-episode premiere. Jamarco, what do you think of the show so far?
I think it's dope. Firstly, let me apologize to all of my Star Wars fans. I am not caught up on the animated series of the Clone Wars.
Mhm.
My brother is bothering me. Shout out to Brandon. I'm gonna watch those shows. But from what I've seen, I mean, the animation is slick, as you can see. Sam Witwer, I was just pointing this out. Just I think the biggest MVP of the Star Wars franchise. Period.
Mhm.
I mean, this is a guy who started out as an OG, just original character in Force Unleashed, and now he has become the premier voice
Mhm.
actor for this franchise. And like you said, Darth Maul was just kind of like a nothing of a villain in Phantom Menace.
Mhm.
I loved Phantom Menace as a child. I had a
Mhm.
Darth Maul cup, which I still need to find. It's probably in my mother's cabinet, but everything about Darth Maul was just so rad. And
Mhm.
I used to fast forward to Phantom Menace just to get to that final fight because honestly, Phantom Menace is pretty boring.
Yeah,
But
yeah, and Phantom Menace is not a great movie. That's one of my favorite jokes at the end of what was that movie? It was Fanboys
yeah,
with Kristen Bell, where the entire idea is to get their dying friend in to see the Phantom Menace, and the very end of the movie is at the night of the premiere, and they're just like, guys, what if it sucks?
and suck it did.
And
But
yep, it was not great, but but yeah, talking about Sam Witwer, how he's just become basically the MVP of Star Wars now. It is like such a fascinating take, and the character that didn't have much dimension, didn't have much personality. Witwer adds this regalness to it.
yeah, this coolness.
It's like seeing a jilted knight trying to get his revenge. And I saw a lot of that in his performance in that show. And here we're getting to see the crime boss aspect of him. because
Yeah,
has
he's a gangster.
he has like this loyal gang of followers. It's a lot of Mandalorians that he felt that he gathered in his past, like we saw in Clone Wars and a little bit in Rebels. And now we have a new aspect to the character where he's at this point in this quest of looking for vengeance. He's looking for his own apprentice, which I think is
Mhm.
one of the most interesting aspects of this. And that is a character named Devin Azara, who is voiced by Gideon Adlon. And what did you think about the character Gideon of an Devin so far in this episode? Because we don't see much
Yeah,
about her. I feel like a lot of this first 2 episodes is set up, but I'm very curious to see where they're going.
same. I like where we're headed. You know, I'm always a sucker for the rebellious,
Mhm.
you can't tell me shit character, and she fits that bill to a T. And it looks like uh, Darth Maul has a little bit of respect for her
Mhm.
in a sense. Like, you know, and I'm very interested to see where that relationship goes. Because, like you said, only 2 episodes. We're barely seeing her. She's hanging out with the Allstate guy.
Yeah, her master, who's
Yeah,
master Eco, who
yeah.
is voiced by Dennis Haysbert,
Dennis
and we don't
Haber.
see
I'm
much of their
sorry,
dynamic.
Dennis.
Of Dennis Haysbert, but we don't see a lot of their dynamic. But I feel like the brief glimpses we see, we know everything we need to know about their characters, which I think is like some great storytelling, especially with a show like this where you only have half an hour episode. So you have to have a lot of story crammed into a very short amount of time. And I
Yes.
feel like the voice actors, because Haysbert's character, Master Eco, he's very pacifist. He is very like the Force will provide, and you
Right.
can tell that the character Devin is like kind of sick of it, especially
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Sick of being broke.
at this point in the show, we don't know how long it's been since Order 66. We don't know how long they've been on the run or what they've had to do to survive at this point. And I think that's a fascinating look, especially when you contrast it with a character like Maul, who
Mm.
was meant to be Sidious's like a tip of the spear to go back against the Jedi, who was that character that had that proximity to power and was jilted and left behind by it, and now is
Hmm.
out for revenge. And I'm curious to see how they tie that together with Devin's story.
Exact. Same here.
Yeah, but yep, we've talked, I think, in the past a lot about the animation style with Clone Wars and a lot of Filoni's other works. And I'll admit, when Clone Wars first came out, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. It kind of looked like live act, looked like it kind of looked like action figures being put up together and with like a little bit of sheen of its claymation. But
Hmm.
now, especially over time, I feel like it's kind of developed its own charm. And you look at some of the behind the scenes stuff of Shadow Lord, they're doing some kind of incredible stuff with their animation. Like they're like fully rendering like matte painting backgrounds. They're doing like stuff with the sound in it. It's,
Hmm.
I think, the best that this style of Star Wars animation has ever looked.
I
Even
noticed an upgrade too. I was like, oh, this looks a little different. They actually, like, you know, put in overtime for this. And like you said, the music, yeah, I mean, in the
Mhm,
first episode, hearing how they did Duel of the Fates, I mean,
mhm.
come on.
Yeah,
They
you hear
got
Duel
me
of Fates,
there.
you know that is Maul's theme music. Like
That's the
they
shit just got real music.
yeah, it's like we joke a lot about Star Wars is how like 99% of being a Sith is just learning how to aura farm.
Yep.
But it is it's like it's one of those things. It's like with a character like Maul, I feel like we kind of already know a lot of his tricks. So a little bit of the
Hmm.
surprise is lost on us. But especially with how the show opens, we see it from the perspective of these like poor cops that
I guess
just
we
decided
should
to
do
go on
as he
patrol on the
says.
wrong night.
Very Rogue One ish.
Mhm. Hmm. It's like, ah, It's like,
shit.
you done fucked up now. That is
Yeah.
Yep. I didn't know what to expect walking into the show, but now but I was hooked off of that opening scene. That's some
Yeah, same.
great
They got
storytelling,
me.
great stakes building. Um even we don't get a lot of the side characters thus far, but I think one of the more interesting aspects is we have Wagner Mora, who is playing
My
uh
boy.
Wagner Mora, former Pablo Escobar Oscar nominee, and of course
Secret agent.
Bad
Yep.
Wolf from Puss in Boots.
That's right. Mr. and Mrs.
And
Smith as
and
well.
we and there's this sense of his character because we saw a little bit of it in Andor, where there's like this other level of the Empire where they'll let the planets, they'll let the locals do their own thing, but in case of emergency, you call the Empire. And there's this like
Mm-hmm.
undertone of him wanting to keep the Empire out of it, and we don't
Right.
at this point know why yet. But we see him in the second episode. He has this meeting with, I'm guessing, this local crime figure who's voiced by Gideon Adlon's mother, who is the voice of
Pamela.
Abby from King of the Hill.
Yes.
Pamela
Great
Adlon.
Pamela Adlon.
And we see a little bit of their dynamic, and I'm curious to see how that's explored through the rest of the season. Getting to my final thoughts on the premiere, I've been down on Star Wars for a very long time since basically the end of Mandalorian season 2, where Book of Boba Fett, that was a huge letdown.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I hated Obi-Wan Kenobi. That just felt like such a nothing burger of a show. Acolyte, it had a lot of promise, but I felt like it didn't. Disney
Kung
didn't
Fu
give it
Star
time.
Wars should have been a layup.
Yeah, it felt like it didn't know what to do with its structure. I haven't seen Skeleton Crew, so I'll
Me
give
neither.
him that.
Sorry.
And
Art is great.
And I could not give a fuck less about Mandalorian and Grogu.
See it on Disney Plus in like 3 months.
Yeah, but with Maul Shadow Lord, I don't know what it is with Star Wars and animation, but every time a new one of these comes out, it feels special. It feels like that aura, that cool factor, that like event kind of nature of Star Wars. It felt like that feeling is back from when I was a kid, when Star Wars felt special.
Agreed.
A bunch of, we'll talk about, some of our other shows that we'll get through this week, but this is definitely appointment viewing for me. Marco, what about you?
I agree with you. Yeah, I always say, for me, Star Wars is that one X that I still text every now and then. I may not be in love with her like I used to as a child because she did some dumbass decisions, but I still have love for her. So, and, it's funny you mentioned all Siths are just about aura. You could argue Darth Maul was just pure aura.
He was the original aura farmer.
Yeah, we didn't know shit about him in the movie. Just like, oh, look at this crazy guy with red and black.
A bad motherfucker with the dual bladed lightsaber, and that's
dual
all
lightsaber and horns on his head. Who is this guy? So I think this has been a long time coming for a lot of fans of the prequels, like myself as a child, seeing Darth Maul get his just due. I mean, he's already been a legend in the comics and in the older shows, but to have his own show revolved around him, I've been looking forward to this for a long time. And I love the angle where he's kind of like an anti-hero now, where, you kind of want to root for him. He's running a gang now. So it is funny seeing this cops and robbers type narrative in the Star Wars world. And I'm looking forward to see how it builds. So I can't complain about it.
Yeah, and we talked about it when Andor came out, and that felt like the come to Jesus moment of, wow, this is what Star Wars can be when you have a story like this, when you have an angle. And I'm kind of getting a lot of the same vibes in this, especially with kind of delving into this criminal underworld that we don't really see a lot of in Star Wars, seeing this this kind of a cops and robbers case that we get with the Wagner Mora character. But Yeah, this has been a fantastic premiere. I'm excited to see where the season goes. This is on my appointment viewing schedule now.
Amen.
But moving on to the next review that we have. Hold up, let me just mark down the timestamps. About 20. Okay, so moving on to our next review. Marco, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Do you dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Not since college.
Well, you do now, motherfucker, because Daredevil Born Again is coming on strong with its second season. I think I've said it before. I like the first season of Born Again. I feel like it's been much better on a rewatch because watching that show week to week, you felt a lot of the carryover and the just kind of clashing styles and messages of the two different creative teams. And now we're back in full swing.
Yes.
We talked about the premiere last time around, but we got the second through the fourth episode. Yep, Shoot the Moon. That was fantastic. Getting to see a little bit of more of the new Matt and Karen dynamic, seeing just the extent of Fisk's corruption throughout the city, seeing a lot more of the real world parallels between the anti-vigilante task force and other things going on in current events, and getting to see Daredevil kick some more ass, which has always been one of the strong points of the original run on Netflix. And seeing that and what we're getting so far in Born Again, it really feels like the fourth season of Daredevil.
Yes.
That fourth season that so many others were just begging, clamoring, asking Netflix for, asking Feige and company to please do something with this character. And we're eating good, Bubba.
They done did it. It was looking shaky for a minute, but they fixed it.
Yep. And yeah, so far we're seeing like the kind of descent in the anti-vigilante task force.
You're lying. You're a liar. You are lying to us. You're a liar. You are lying to us.
Nice, he's telling the truth.
Yeah, seeing this, this vigilante this task force member who we saw very briefly in the season finale of season 1, who witnesses a fellow officer just shoot an unarmed person and just drag a mask over him, and he's seeing the disillusionment of it. And I'm liking that we're seeing a lot more of that. It makes as much as we want to, I think, demonize the bad guy, it felt like Daredevil has always done a great job of putting a face behind, of putting a person behind the bad guy of their shows. And I feel like that's when Marvel, when comic fiction, when storytelling in general, I feel like that's when it's at its best, when it isn't just a guy who is evil for the sake of being evil. And even in this vicious, violent, super corrupt organization like the anti-vigilante task force, there are still people in the ranks who aren't as on board with it.
Right. Yeah. Loyalties are being shaken every day, from the task force to Kingpin's cabinet. A lot of people aren't on board with this thing.
And that'll leads into the third episode, where we get something that Daredevil has been known for, which is the action sequence oneers, where we get this prison break of all of the people that have been arrested by the vigilante task force. You get to see Daredevil team up with Swordsman, who's played by Tony Dalton from Tony Dalton from Better Call Saul. Get to see the stylistic flares, like how they show off Matt's powers, which I thought was such a brilliant touch from season 1. And I knew that we were in for some good cooking when Disney announced that they were bringing back Philip Silvera, who was the stunt coordinator for the Netflix run of the show and the stunt coordinator for season 3. And my man has not disappointed, because this entire third episode, it is heavier on the action, but we do get a lot of character beats. But what is beautiful about Daredevil is that when it does get to the action, it isn't just, hey, this action scene looks cool. These are characters that we've met and seen throughout the run of the show. This is, that classic Marvel team up of getting to see Daredevil fight alongside another vigilante, another character like this. And we feel the stakes and the tension of it. And not just that, the cool filmmaking that was always a highlight of the Netflix run of Daredevil, and something that I was a little worried about, that we wouldn't get any carryover from that when they went to Disney.
Right, exactly. And yeah, it's so I think the cool thing about it was like, oh wow, swordsman. Like I love how they're incorporating characters like from Hawkeye and bringing them into this more mature world. I would hope that would happen a lot more in the MCU, bringing these characters that we forgot about or don't see often into a more mature, realistic world. And yeah, like I said, this is just like they brought Netflix back. It's more grounded. It's grittier. And I'm surprised. I'm like, oh, they're just saying the F word freely now. I'm watching this on Disney Plus. This is nuts.
It's like if this show didn't have the like Disney Plus intro, I would think that this is something that you'd see on HBO.
Right.
Like it has that kind of
they're going there.
Tone to it. It's like I'm it confused at some points where I could be watching like The Wire in certain scenes of this show.
Right, exactly. Yeah, especially when it comes to like a lot of the lawyers and a lot of the talking to the police, talking to the politicians. There's a wide web. It's not just a superhero show, quote unquote. There are just multiple angles.
Yeah, it's not just a superhero show. It is a crime drama that happens to have superheroes in it. And and I feel like that's a huge distinction. And it's like I'm trying to think, I may have brought this up before, but with something like The Dark Knight, you could take Batman out of that movie entirely. You could just like take off the costume, you could take off the Joker makeup, and it would still be a great crime film.
Yeah, it's Heat.
And I kind of feel that way about the way I do about that as I do about this show, especially in its second season and so far in the episodes that we've seen, which leads us into the newest episode where we get the return of, I think, a character that was only introduced in the third and final season of the Netflix run, but has made such this huge impact as one of the great comic book villains, and that is Wilson Bethel's Bullseye. Yeah. And we get his glorious return here.
New York state of mind.
Enter Bel Air Diner at 43rd and 10th.
The Punisher? Are you sure?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's him.
Task force is en route.
Shit. He has a gun.
Trying to find a safe place.
Just no notes with that delivery.
Terrifying.
I'm just imagining
a banana milkshake.
That's how you know this guy's a psychopath.
Because
of all the milkshake flavors.
Oh my god. I'm sorry. Continue.
of all of the milkshake flavors, he goes for banana.
Good Jesus Christ.
That's how you know he's a psychopath. But I'm liking this intro. It's like this very cool action set piece that we get with Bullseye. Seeing how it's like putting Bullseye in a diner full of kitchen utensils and various knives and cutlery. It's like, he has a gun on his chest. I don't think he picked it up once in this entire episode.
It's like putting a child in a McDonald's playpen, just hours of chaos.
It's like throwing Jason Voorhees in the middle of a barn party.
Boom. He's just anything.
It's like it is like
he's like the MacGyver of assassins. Just fuck it, just throw this.
Yeah, and I like it so much because even as cool as this is to see, even as cool as an action set piece is, even though there are a lot of civilians around, the brilliance of Bethel's performances, you're never at ease whenever Dex is on screen.
Yes, we'll talk about that with another character from another show as well. But he brings like such a Hannibal Lecter style kind of calm psychopath. Just like anytime he's around, even if he's not doing anything, even if he's just in his room, you're just like, oh,
Yeah,
what's
even
gonna
I
happen?
think the most striking thing about this, it's not any of the the killing that he does. It's this small interaction he has with this one diner patron who brought his dog into the restaurant.
Which I agree with,
Mhm.
by the way.
It's unsanitary, but
Dogs in restaurants are unsanitary. Don't worry. I'm one of the good guys.
Is he though?
and that's like one. I think the hilarious thing about this whole episode, because Bullseye is a psychopath, and in
Yes.
comics he's one of the most evil characters that exists in this world of Marvel. And I just love that Dex in this whole season is like going on a redemption arc, but in the most messed up way possible.
Right. Yeah.
Because
it's weird.
Poindexter, he's a psychopath.
Really, yeah. There's certain people you shouldn't trust to, be a vigilante, and he's one of them.
Yeah, and it's like this almost like childlike like desire to prove himself, because he is also hunted by the anti-vigilante task force, which Daredevil is among their targets. So he must think, oh, I'm one of them. I'm one of the good guys.
Exactly. Yeah, it's always the enemy of my enemy is my friend, but I don't think you should be friends with Bullseye, because his idea of vengeance and redemption is pretty twisted.
Yeah, he is one of the most dangerous characters, and especially with how the fourth episode ends, because
Oh boy.
just to recap, we have this charity boxing match that was set up through some of the early episodes. Wilson Fisk, I think he kills this guy in the ring.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
It is
that is a
horrifying
total.
to watch.
That was a total slaughtering.
And it adds insult to injury, because he's doing this inside Fogwell's gym, which is this place that has such this deep personal connection to Matt, where this is where Matt's father trained when he was younger, and this is where he had his first honest interaction with Elektra during the run of the show.
Yeah, remember that? Mm-hmm.
And now it's become this place where Wilson Fisk is doing some A+ media thing, and
Right.
We get the biggest event of the season so far, where Bullseye comes in, wrecks havoc, slaughters a whole bunch of AVTF guys, and in the chaos, Bullseye throws this like glass figurine at Fisk. Fisk breaks it, but one of the glass shards, it kills Vanessa. And just like that, Islet Zur's time as Vanessa Fisk, the one character that
the calm to Wilson storm.
Mm-hmm. The one character that made Wilson kind of human.
Exactly.
Is now gone.
You let the tiger out the cage. I was shocked. I was shocked.
It's kind of a thing I saw coming a little bit with how Vanessa has been acting throughout these last couple episodes. She's the one who we learned in the finale of season 1 is the one who set Bullseye free, and the one who ordered Foggy to be killed.
Mm-hmm.
So she is just as bad as Wilson Fisk, if not more.
Exactly. Oh yeah, she's just a little bit more quiet with it. Real Wilson Fisk is all rage, just 0 to 100. She's a little bit more practical in her evilness.
Yeah, and with the death of Vanessa, I'm curious to see how that plays into the rest of the season, because I think it's already been confirmed that season 2 is going to be the end of the Wilson Fisk story. and we see like more and more dissent among the population of New York. We see this boxing match where as many cheers as we see in this crowd, there's just as much people that are kind of looking on in horror.
Yeah, yeah. It's that's the funny thing about Kingpin is like, people respect him, but they also fear him.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
like
that's
it's a fine line between fear and respect, because for every sycophant that you have, like Daniel, who in this is played wonderfully by Michael Gandolfini.
The great Michael Gandolfini. Like I was saying, there are just certain scenes where like, man, you look just like your dad, dude. It's just, it's freaking me out.
I thought I was watching Sopranos for a second.
Yeah, he just plays it so well, and he's one of those characters watching a show where I'm just always curious to see what he has up his sleeve. He's always conniving, always up to something.
It's kind of funny, and like one of the previous episodes we got there, I thought there was like a joke online about we have evil Matt and Foggy with Buck, who's British Wesley.
Oh yeah, Buck. Yeah, he's a gangster.
Yeah, who's a character I'm fascinated by in every scene.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of fascinating, do you want to get into our boy Shaggy?
Oh yes, the
great Matthew Lillard.
Yeah,
Mr.
we have
Charles.
Finally seeing more of Lillard's Mr. Charles, who is kind of sick of Wilson shit.
Who is this guy?
Yeah, he's a character. Yeah, Mr. Charles, all we know so far is that he is kind of a CIA spook. He's a character that's been described as like a kingmaker.
Mm-hmm.
And that he is kind of slumming it working with Wilson Fisk just because they want access to this free port in order to transport arms to various other regions of the world that may or may not be destabilizing other populations.
Yeah.
But we do hear...
Also has ties to Valentina.
Yep, Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, who is, the CEO of Vox Group and, of course, the backer behind the Thunderbolts. Sorry, New Avengers.
New Avengers, mind you.
But that is an aspect of this. And I love that we get to see that as much as Mr. Charles is kind of slumming it, he still is wary of working with Wilson Fisk and opposing him, because he like whistles in a couple of bodyguards and Buck kills them instantly.
Mm-hmm. And Wilson Fisk is sick of Mr. Charles always on his back. He's basically like, all right, man. Okay, stay out of my business.
You embarrassed me in front of Buck.
When I was a boy. Shout out Vincent D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio. It is one of the great comic performances, especially in this final episode as he's holding Vanessa as she's dying. We see
shot to the face.
Yeah, we see the armor break behind Wilson Fisk.
Yeah.
And that's something I think is a beautiful thing in every one of their interactions, where we see, for as evil as this guy is, and he is worst of the worst bad guy,
the personification of evil.
He is, still a human being. And that's, I think, a beautiful thing about season 3 of the show, of Matt refusing to kill him.
Yeah.
And something that, as much as it continues to bite him in the ass, I don't support Matthew killing him. No. Bullseye, on the other hand.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Lock him in a room with Bullseye and Frank Castle, and let's have some fun.
And a pencil. just one item.
Yeah, but moving on to final thoughts on Daredevil Born Again, episode 4.
Yes.
Aces. So much of the word coming into the second season is that it is a stark improvement over the first one. It feels like a return to form for Daredevil, and I got to parrot a lot of that. This show has been fantastic so far. I've been on the edge of my seat every episode. I've been, eagerly awaiting for 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for it to drop on Disney Plus, and I'm instantly I'm tuning in. I'm tuning in with my snack and my drink.
Yep. What'd you say? Appointment viewing? That's
Yeah,
Daredevil for me.
yeah, this is so far peak TV. I don't imagine that they'll be able to fuck this up.
I hope they stick the landing. Sorry to our audience. We're probably gonna be glazing for the whole episode, but
Hey, this is the season of peak, my brother.
this is some
There is-
peak
if-
shit going
If
on
there
right
is
now.
ever a time to do some glazing, it is now.
For these shows that we're talking about, yeah, you'll see why. But yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I mean, I love Daredevil. I've loved Daredevil ever since the Ben Affleck movie.
Mhm.
And don't lie, y'all. Some of y'all like it too. Evanescence. That's all I'll say. But two Evanescence songs. But no, I just
too.
think what Charlie Cox is doing, what Deborah Ann Wall is doing. We didn't even get into the Karen stuff. She's like just
Mhm.
total badass at this point. Yeah, she don't give a fuck. So I'm really curious to see where Karen goes and if they kill her, because she dies in the comics. A vast
Yeah, it's
improvement
like-
over who she was in the
It's like-
comics.
I'm getting a little nervous every time we get a Matt and Karen scene together, because I think this is the first time in this 4th episode where they explicitly say "I love you" to each other.
Kiss of death.
And-
That's what I said.
Yeah, that is the kiss of death for like any of
Somebody's gonna
love it.
die. I mean, they're playing with fire. Trying to
it-
infiltrate Kingpin's operation and trying to
it's kind of
infiltrate
like
the
that.
Northern Star.
It's kind of like that one character from the Boondocks who was like this CIA agent whose entire backstory is all of his like wives getting killed.
Yep. There you go.
That is comic book Matt Murdock.
Matt Murdock, not the best luck with the ladies. But as I said, yeah, I mean, there's just so many things happening on the show besides comic book stuff. Just I'm always curious to see where Kingpin is going. I love the lawyer characters. I love Cherry. I love Kristen.
Yeah, it's characters that I wasn't a fan of rewatching the first season of Born Again, but season 2 has done such a good job of giving these side characters personalities, making them feel important to the story, giving them dimension that was sorely lacking in the first season.
Exactly, and we're getting stuff with BB, Ben Urich's daughter, and then we're getting stuff. We're teasing the White Tiger. Heather, our therapist, is having some muse problems.
She is putting the D in PTSD.
She is experiencing some
not
spooky
coping
shit.
well.
Yeah.
Not coping well and making it everyone else's problem.
Yeah, the Muse mask is talking to her like Willem Dafoe, Green Goblin.
We have a new world to conquer.
So I'm very curious to see where that goes. So shout out to all the women characters because they are like 70% of why this show works so well is like these are some strong badasses, and Jessica Jones is coming, so that only adds to the strong female influence on the show. So I mean, I love where everything is going. The writing is great, the action is great. It's a ride, and this just gives me hope. Like, hey, maybe Marvel has their shit together when it comes to these street level heroes.
Yeah, it's like the cosmic, the grand scale stuff. There's like not a lot of excitement for that, but the street level characters, there's like some juice there. Like
the Punisher and Luke Cage and all those guys. So
and it's confirmed by set photos. We're getting all 4 of the Defenders back. Next season we're getting Luke and Danny back in the fold.
Yeah, it's the redemption arc for the Netflix saga. It encourages people to go back and watch those Netflix shows because there was some gold there. I still love Luke Cage and I still love Jessica Jones. Iron Fist, not so much. We don't gotta
talk about Iron Fist.
Yeah, but it's just I think it's dope to see these characters come back and join this larger world because they got plans. They're gonna be in movies and their own shows. So hopefully we get Misty Knight and Colleen and so many other characters we can bring into this world. This, like I said, this more mature, kind of grown up world. Because the MCU is like damn near 20 years old. And I think it's time the franchise grows up with its audience. A lot of
Yeah,
these kids who were, babies are now grown ups and want to see more mature comic book stories.
Yeah, there's an appetite for it, especially with how well received Born Again season 2 is so far, and we're
Yeah.
seeing more and more of it. With one of the biggest box office hits for Marvel, especially in late stage, was Deadpool and Wolverine. There's an
Yeah.
appetite for rated R Marvel.
They said the F word in Guardians 3. Open the fucking door. So, I think it's time because DC has been, doing it for decades with more R-rated, edgier, mature content. It doesn't always work, but they take a leap of faith, and I respect that. I think it's time for Marvel to do the same because, like I said, the audience is ready for it.
Yeah, so far again, Daredevil Born Again, it's been a fantastic. I can't wait to see where they take the rest of the story, especially because from everything I heard, post episode 4 is where the season really starts to sing. And especially like from the words of Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio, the final 2 episodes of the season are like Aces TV. I cannot wait to see. I'm tuned in every week.
I can't wait.
All right. That's it for Daredevil Born Again season 2. And now moving on to, I think I said this during my initial review of the first couple episodes of this, but my current favorite show on TV right now, it is, I wish I could do the effect. It's Invincible.
I know. Boom. Invincible. Yes.
I wish I could do it. I haven't figured out all the way yet. But yeah, so far this has been, I think, the strongest start of the season, where we're seeing a lot of the momentum build up. We're seeing the beginnings of the Viltrumite War. We're seeing something that I was very curious to see how they adapted into the show because of the lengths that they have made to Debbie, and the lengths that I think I've said in my previous review of how Kirkman and co have improved as a writer, and especially with the character of Debbie, because as grand and cosmic, as violent as the show is, as hyped as I am for the Viltrumite War and to see General Grand Regent Thrax see rematch with Conquest, the most tense I am during this show is Nolan and Debbie's reunion. That is the most tense I am in this entire run of this show.
It's one of the best scenes of the year. And
it is shout out, it's beautifully acted, beautifully written. It has been a long time coming, and something that I think I said it before in the comics, because the comics, it felt like it wanted to kind of speed run Nolan's redemption. So Debbie is kind of quick to forgive him. But
Nolan came back to Earth thinking shit was gonna be sweet. Everyone's like, "What? What do you, dude? You started a whole fucking genocide. What are you talking about?"
It's like,
my bad, Joe.
Repair the damage. You still think you can do anything, don't you? Fix all your problems with your superpowers. This can't be fixed, Nolan. There's no way back from where you are. You murdered people. You extinguished families. You spread misery to the people who loved you most. How many people can't sleep at night because every time they close their eyes, they see you? I know what that feels like because I'm one of them. And now you show up here with some bullshit apology about to take my son to a war 1,000,000 miles away where he could die, and you think you can repair this? What do you want, Nolan?
I wanted to say that I was sorry.
You said that. You're still here.
Debbie, I had to see you again.
Fuck you.
Yeah, that's goddamn.
Shout out to Sandra Oh. I mean, it's amazing.
It is such a raw, visceral performance. I will I will never take you seriously if you are one of the people that say animation isn't art.
Oh, it's just a comic book show. No, there's
It's like,
some shit going on here.
fuck you, first off.
Yeah. First of all,
But this is it is such a brilliantly written scene because Nolan is a character who has lived for thousands of years. Who is a character that is, we've seen a little bits of his redemption in the previous episodes. We see like him apologize, and so many of the other alien characters are just so shocked that a Viltrumite would ever say the words "I'm sorry."
right.
And
Yeah. It's a difference
for-
between, aliens and humans.
yeah, even he brings it up in the newest episode, and we'll get to that in a bit. But even on
Yes.
Thraxa, where he conceived Oliver, their species was so short-lived that they were quick to forgive,
Mm.
even forget, as long as you were willing to do the work. But with humans and with people, I love that Kirkman has found this kind of brilliance of this, in that we're not that simple.
Right. Oh, yeah. That's the great thing about Invincible is that, Mark is still half human, even
Yeah,
though he's,
this
half
is
Venturite.
Yeah, this isn't a superhero show. This is a grounded, very gritty, very human drama that just
Yeah.
happens to have superhero characters and have this like vicious, just so heart-wrenching scene between Debbie and just the voice performance from Sandra Oh. It would be criminal if she gets no love from the award circuit from this.
Yeah. Animation Emmys, just, give this show its props. People want to complain about the animation, but I mean, it's like,
Yeah,
who
and
gives a shit?
I think I said it during my breakdown of the first 4 episodes with Shuby, is that with animation, that's very often this case of the art style, the artwork, the visuals, that's what brings people in.
Mhm.
And with Invincible, it's kind of the inverse of that. It's where, I tuned into the show because it was Robert Kirkman. I knew him from Walking Dead. I heard great things about the Invincible comic, and I was very curious to see what I was getting into. And I watched the show. I watched the pilot cold. I didn't know anything about the comic prior to it. I didn't even
Oh, wow.
I didn't even read the comic until after season 3 ended.
Wow. Yeah, I grew up reading like the first 3 volumes in high school. So, yeah, I was aware of the world. I wasn't deep into it, but I was like, as soon as the show got started, I instantly wanted to. I'm making it a point to actually get the comics now.
Yeah, they're brilliantly written comics. They have their issues, which I feel like the show is doing a lot to correct or to improve on. I think I said it during the review, is that this is essentially the second draft of what Kirkman wanted to do with Invincible. And another one of the improvements is how they fleshed out the character of Oliver, who, in the comics is, basically a sociopath who pretty much just wants to join the war just because he wants to fight. But they add this this dimension to him, in that, because we get to see more of Oliver, and we get to see this this kind of pain that, last time the Viltrumites came, he was just a baby and he couldn't do anything, and now
when the Viltrumites will come here and hurt people
oh, come on.
I love, and I have just as much to lose as you do, and you need my help, just like I helped with Conquest and all those evil versions.
I'm sorry, Oliver. Helped with Conquest?
You didn't really help at all.
I get it, kid. Your heart's in the right place, but
You tried, but Conquest kind of
So
punked
shut
you.
up.
Oliver,
I wasn't there for my other mom, so I'm gonna save this one, and you can't stop me.
yeah, it's
He's got a
adding
point.
this different layer to the character that just wasn't there in the comics, especially in the vocal performance from I think it's
What's that kid's name?
yeah, that kid's name is Cameron Crevetti.
Yes.
No, wait,
that's Ryan. from the boys.
Yeah, that's Ryan from The Boys. My bad. That's
whoever you are.
yeah, whoever the actor is. I think his last name is Cravetti.
Oh, okay. Shout out to you, dog.
Ba, 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 ba. Oh yeah, Christian Convery. That's who it is.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, Christian Convery. It's a phenomenal performance and just doing so much to humanize the character of Oliver, which didn't exist in the comic, and setting some real stakes and emotion going into the Viltrumite War. Because in the comic, Oliver was just finally excited to meet his dad, but in the start of episode 5 and leading into episode 6, Oliver's pissed at Nolan, and he
As
has
he
every
should be.
right to be.
Yeah. Again, everybody hates Nolan. You can't just, it's funny because the Nolan art kind of reminds me of what's going on with Kanye right now. Kanye apologized and, his new album out there, but it's like, all right. And then there's some people like, wait a minute. We're not letting you off that easy. So it's,
but
it's the same thing with Nolan. It's like, dude, you killed the Guardians of the Globe. First of all, we can just start there.
Yeah, start there and slaughtered thousands of people in Chicago.
Yes, and
not
you
just
made
that,
your own.
not
Just
just
show
that.
the clip where he puts Invincible through a train.
I mean, I'm not sure I can show that clip, but
you get the point.
if you thought that clip was disturbing, we also get the return of Conquest in
the
previous episode to this, and we find out the answer if Mark really does have that dog in him.
Yeah, Mark has been on demon time this whole season. It's kind of been jarring. He's kind of, he's becoming his father's son, and even like the own Guardians, like, yo, Mark, you good, my guy? Like, what's going on? So he's got a lot of anger pent up. He's pissed at Cecil. He's pissed at Nolan. Just always pissed. So when it came to the Conquest rematch, I knew Mark wasn't gonna, he wasn't gonna hold back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that more or less plays out exactly as it did in the comic. Mark is, literally has his guts ripped out of him by Conquest in, I think, one of the more disturbing scenes of
the
show.
Oof. Big oof.
But yeah, that leads into, for the start of the Viltrumite War, the three biggest weapons of, Nolan, Oliver, and Mark, they're out of commission for the first part of it.
Yeah, he just, Mark's taking a little nap because that's how you get your guts back.
Yeah, and I think one of the highlights is, in this time we get to see Oliver and Nolan bond, which is something that was just something that happens in the comics, but I think the emotional core of it is completely different, because that whole scene between Debbie and Nolan, where he basically just said that Andressa, Oliver's mother, meant nothing to him.
Oof.
Yeah, Oliver heard all of that.
Yeah, of course he did.
You said you didn't love my other mom, my real mom, that she was a mistake.
I didn't mean for you to hear that.
Am I a mistake too?
That's not what Oliver.
I wanted to be just like you, like Omni-Man. I even wore your stupid symbol, but then you came home to find Mark and didn't even bother to see me. You don't care about me. Never did.
You're right, Oliver. I haven't been a father to you. But I'm trying to do better. To be a better person. It's harder than I thought.
And you feel bad for him, and you're like, oh, he's trying.
Yeah, and I think that's like one of the beautiful things about the show. And this, I think the theme of this season so far is this theme of, like, for somebody who committed as much atrocity as Nolan did as Omni-Man on Earth, is his redemption even possible?
Yes. How much bad can you do in a lifetime? And
Mhm.
does the good outweigh it? Does trying to change make
Mhm.
it better? Can you become a better person after all the
Mhm.
dirt you've done? And that
Yeah.
goes for Mark and for Nolan because
Mhm.
Mark's got blood on his hands,
Mhm.
and it's just an interesting dynamic. It's the parallels between
Mhm.
these two characters.
Yeah, and
Can you truly be good?
yeah, and I think that's like one of the big themes of the overall comic is like is being a superhero, at least in the way that we've kind of idealized it through like decades of Marvel and DC comics, seeing characters like Superman. Is that even possible in the real world? And
Yeah,
I like that the show doesn't really have a clear answer. And I won't give away spoilers in the comic, but even that answer is kind of messy.
right. And yeah, and all of these characters that we see are flawed. I mean, it's always interesting to see the flawed superhero. Like, I'll
Mhm.
joke that Invincible does Spider-Man better than Spider-Man is doing it. Balancing these supernatural threats with, just normal everyday life shit.
Mhm.
I think we get a kick out of that because it makes it a little bit more grounded and relatable. It's like, oh, Mark's going through the same shit that I'm going through. I may not be in an intergalactic war, but I know how that feels. So, watching this show and just that's some of the gold for me is just seeing Mark and Eve, trying to figure their shit out, or Mark trying to deal with Debbie and her new man,
Mhm.
just things of that nature that we all go through. But, like I said, we're not superheroes.
Yeah, and for as much as we talk about comic stuff, it is like all of the the superhero antics, all of the big battles, the big fights, the effects, the triumphant moments. None of that means anything if we don't care about characters.
Right. Brad Bird once said, like, it's not about the size of the fireball, it's about the guy running from the fireball, right?
Mhm.
So it's not about the spectacle of it. It, like you said, doesn't mean anything if you don't care about any of these characters.
Yeah.
That's why, these superhero movies are they've gotten more prevalent now
Mhm.
dealing with the human side of it.
Mhm.
That's why Batman is so popular. That's why the Superman movie from last year worked because it made him a little bit more human and a little
Mhm.
bit more down to earth. And I think we want our heroes to be not just invincible, haha,
Mhm.
but we want to see them go through these things. We want to see them suffer. Indiana Jones scared of snakes. You know what I'm saying? John McClane, glass on his foot. Like, these are just everyday things, but these are extraordinary people doing these things, and I think that's the thrill of these. These stories of heroes. You want to see them get through it, and that's
Mhm.
why Invincible works so well. It's like no matter how badly Mark gets beat up in every episode, you're like,
Mhm.
you got to get through it. you
Yeah.
know, Cecil's going to talk some shit, but Mark, you got to pull through.
Yeah, but yeah, speaking of spectacle, we finally get the Viltrumite War in earnest, and we get this beautiful montage of Nolan and Oliver bonding, intercut with the various fights of the Viltrumite War, and I feel like a lot of people online are kind of like down on this episode because the Viltrumites, they don't seem to be as big of a threat this season. Thrag hasn't like impressed the way people have been hyping him up from his previous appearances in the show. But
Mhm.
just wait. And
That's what I'm saying. I'm
also
like, oh, don't, guys,
just
don't,
wait.
don't.
Have a little patience. And also because we get the Viltrumites attacking Telestria, which is like the home world of the coalition of planets, and it's
Mhm.
devastating.
Yeah, they don't
And
fuck
we
around.
also, for as devastating as it is, we also get our classic hero moments.
Oh, you guys are in so much trouble now.
These soldiers
Yeah,
are
we
insane.
got beards.
Kill them so they
Yeah, I love that they gave they gave Mark a Asian beard. I know people are kind of like dogging on him a little bit, but I've I'm Asian myself. It's like our facial hair grows weird. It's like it takes a lot for me to even get this going.
I was like, he's got the Andrew Koji. It look good on him. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are talking about Thrag because he doesn't really do much. He just kind of gives speeches and postures about, the right of the Viltrum Empire to conquer, and people are dogging on him on that right. But I think that's kind of the point,
right?
Because the species is like on the brink of extinction, and you're still going out to conquer everything you see.
Yeah, it's delusional.
I realize Comic Thrag is kind of an idiot.
Yeah, they had a whole planet of dead Viltrumites. He's like, we can go for it.
Mm-hmm. And it's like he's we get this epic action set piece of Nolan and of Mark and Oliver destroying the Viltrumite ship.
Shout out my man Alan.
Grabs Emperor Argyle all like it's his PS5.
Viltrumites!
Yep. And they flee the scene of Telestria, but we get a little bit of the aftermath. And the show, I feel like, for as grand as the scale is, it never forgets to ground this, because
exactly,
and something
the violence is real.
Yeah, the violence, and we'll get into it when we get to the boys. And I kind of like did this comparison where the boys, as much as I love that show does lean a lot onto shock factor and just show you some disgusting visuals to get a reaction out of you, or like get a little bit gratuitous with its violence. But with Invincible, I always feel like it's more emotional weight first when it comes to its violence.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Especially with all the carnage they go through in every season. Yeah, it's always, it's not like, no, it's always a big deal, because these guys are destroying, like Debbie said, you're destroying families, extinguishing families, as she said. So the grief is always felt, no matter how big the scale.
Yeah, and moving on to the final thoughts. So next week, so at the end of this episode, we learn that the Viltrumites, they're heading back to their home planet to like regroup, get their final stand, and that's going to be, I think, the big event of the season, of the final battle on Viltrum with all of our heroes, with Alan, Thetis, Battle Beast, and the new character this season, Tech Jacket, who we briefly saw last season, who is like one of the characters that managed to solo one of the Mark variants.
Yep.
And the internet is in this is a female who is voiced by Zoe Deutsch, which the internet is just very cool about that.
Oh yeah, well, shout out to Zoe Deutsch, who I adore. But she's cool. It's like a little Iron Man type hybrid.
Yeah, she's kind of like the Blue Beetle of this
Yeah,
world.
Yeah, she's cool. We like Zoe.
Yeah, and I liked her little friendship that we get with Alan.
Yeah, and her, she's trying to, connect with Oliver as well. So, as the young one, I think it's always fun to see the two youngest people on the ship interact and try to relate to each other. So, and Alan is always fun. I mean, Seth Rogen is just having a blast. So, I mean, it's always fun to hear his voice. Like, oh yeah, Seth is on this. Nolan, we gotta fight the aliens.
All right, but yeah, Invincible season 4, it is, a fantastic episode. I've liked every episode of the season so far. I'm a little lukewarm on the 4th episode. That's the one that felt like the most like filler.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
episode where Mark goes to hell. But I do
yeah.
think it serves its purpose because it kind of like explicitly states what the theme of the season is, of like redemption, if that's possible, in his conversations with the Damien Darkblood. And it's a fun episode on its own.
Yeah, I liked it.
Invincible has kind of always danced that line of what's filler and what's not, because even in the previous seasons, the filler episodes always did serve the season story,
The bigger purpose.
Mm-hmm. But this is the one that felt the most like a detour.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we're going to hell. Oh, okay, well, isn't there like a whole war going on right now? Is it Nolan going through something? Oh, okay, we'll let it slide.
Yeah, but Invincible, yep, I'm gonna keep blazing it. It is my favorite show on TV, next to The Pit.
Ooh, is it the best comic book show out right now?
I will give a definitive take once all of the currently airing stuff is finished, its current season. But
very political answer.
Yes, very very diplomatic of an answer.
Yes,
but,
very good.
But one I feel happy with. It's one I can sleep at night.
Yeah, I was trying to get you. I was trying to hot take you.
It is the one that I'm the most excited for when the airing time comes.
Yes. I think yes, it is a fine show. It gets better every season with people want to complain about the stunt casting. Oh, they got too many famous people. The animation sucks.
I feel like Kirkman. I feel like him as a producer, he's kind of treating this like if he's treating animation as if it were live action.
Yes, because you gotta get the biggest names.
People that you could imagine if they did a live action version of this, which at this point, why even bother?
They're talking about it.
These roles.
Yeah. And of course, I just love the fact that he just brings up all his Walking Dead homies. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is Conquest, and Deadeye Gira, and did Andrew Lincoln miss a call? What why isn't Rick in there somewhere?
I think there's a role for him in mind, but I thought that they were going to get him for Thrak, but
I'm cool. Happy with his British accent. Yeah,
I'm happy with Lee Pace at this time right now, especially with just further ahead in the comics. You get a lot more meat with that character.
I'm very excited to see where we go with Thrak. So there's, like I said, however many seasons Kirkman wants to crank out, I'm there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's it for Invincible season 4. It is my favorite show on TV. I think my personal favorite out of this bunch. But it's also the one that is the furthest along in its season.
Yeah, they're just steady cooking. I'm just a fan. It's just become so iconic at this point with Omni-Man and Conquest, and there's a video game out right now. I want to, so I'm Invincible out.
Yep. Hey, I'll never be Invincible out. But moving on to the other Amazon Prime comic book show, which also happens to be produced by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg.
Yep.
We have the 5th and final season of The Boys. So season 5 picks up a year after the events of season 4, and Homelander has won. Homelander is like the most powerful person on the planet, both like as a superhero and even politically. We see like he's rounding up the Starlight supporters and putting them into internment camps. Huey, Frenchie, and Mother's Milk, they're basically in a prison camp right now. And the first episode, it's a prison break, baby.
Yeah, we're breaking out of ice.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because Eric Kripke in interviews, he said that they wrote the season before the election, and it's kind of
spooky.
It's kind of nuts to see how this show has, in a lot of ways, become live action South Park.
Yeah, I don't think there's a show out right now that defines America more than The Boys. Like, it's accidental satire. Like, this is just where we are in the world right now, and Homelander is, of course, the most blatant metaphor for you know who.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in a medium that is rife with parallels to real life, this is the one that I think is the most explicit with it.
yeah. It's about as subtle as a sledgehammer. It's like, nope, we're talking about today.
Yeah, and for like everybody online who's talking about like, I like The Boys more when it wasn't as political. It has always been like this.
Newsflash. It's always been satirical. It's always been about us.
Yeah, it has always been like this. And we get more in this first episode. We see we see the internment camps. We see the reunion of the boys, especially I think the best turn of this first episode is we get Kimiko talking now.
She talks. She can talk. Karen Fukuhara can finally talk in a project.
She gets to learn. She gets to use dialogue.
You guys don't understand. Yeah. Karen Fukuhara, every movie or show I've seen her in, she's been like the stereotypical quiet, deadly Asian assassin. Even in Suicide Squad as Katana, I don't think she says anything. So the pure joy. Don't get me wrong, I love the Kimiko hand signals, but just the pure euphoria of Kimiko talking is so welcoming. I hope we get more Karen Fukuhara talking in projects, please, because she's so fun. I know a lot of people are like, why is she comedic relief? Why is she funny? You've never talked.
She's been hanging out with these clowns for like the last 4 seasons.
Yeah, these are some, gnarly, pretty explicitly funny people. So of course she's gonna pick up on their habits, and I think it's so cute seeing her talk and trying to explain things now with her words. There's a certain line we'll get to that she says.
Yeah, even her, it's like it's like speech therapy and therapy and so much fucking TikTok.
Yep, TikTok. Thank you. Best speech therapist in the world. But she still will kick your ass. She still.
We get the prison break, which I think is a fantastic start to the season, especially with characters that we didn't really see interact prior to this. Where we get to see Homelander interact with Mother's Milk.
Yeah, we never get to saw that.
One's nickname is Mother's Milk.
Bro, why are you licking his lips? Why is he licking his lips like that?
Wait, maybe he was thirsty. You know,
that's horrifying.
He's like, "What's your
just imagine in MM's head, he's just like John Barenthal, just going, "No."
He's like, is he gonna milk me? Oh god. It's not like that, man. But yeah, shout out to all. It's funny seeing all the people without superpowers who have more nuts than the people with superpowers, like Frenchie, Mother's Milk, Huey. Well, yeah, Huey's still a soup, but yeah, they're getting shit done, and it was fun in this first episode seeing kind of like this cool opening, like an Ocean's 11. Opening with Starlight going undercover as Firecracker and hacking into the shit, mixed with the Shawshank prison break, Huey, and Frenchie trying to survive.
Yeah, I completely forgot about like the big opening of the season, where this kind of ticking time bomb throughout like the entire run of the show of Flight 37, which in the first season was the plane that Homelander let crash after his fuck up. And there's been this like smoking gun of this video from the plane that in the opening scene, Starlight reveals the video to the world.
Yep. That should fix things, right? Nope.
Yeah, damn. Damn.
Jeff Bezos is like, not today.
Not today.
No, man, no, you stay back. All of you, stay back. We stay the fuck
It's
back.
like-
I'll laser you, goddammit. I'll laser every fucking one of you.
Like that, the whole crowd is just like in shock and this smoking gun of this season, but it I think feeds into Homelander's like current predicament because he's gotten everything he wants, but very much like like Sage said in the previous season is like you get all the power in the world, it's not gonna make you happy.
Exactly. Yeah, and Sage is kind of low key running the shot. She's always played the background in these shows, like The Boys and Gen V, kind of the puppet master pulling the strings. So it's kind of seeing Homelander spiral as he usually does because he's a petulant, immature, insecure little bitch of a man. But seeing him, continue to go down this downward spiral, even though he has everything he wanted, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
He realizes that everybody in Vought is afraid of him. Like even the like production assistants in the shows that their heartbeats won't stop beating rapidly around him. Even the Deep is afraid of him. It's
he strikes terror.
To see.
Yeah, he strikes terror. That like even as an we were just talking about kind of like what we said with Bullseye. Oh, he walks to a room, everybody's like, oh shit. That's how I feel every time he walks in. I'm like, oh no, because he's just so unpredictable. He is just so high strung and like you said, ticking time bomb, just walking on a tightrope. You just like you don't know what's gonna happen. And with this being the final season, I'm like, he could kill everybody in this fucking room if he wanted to. So that's like my big. I'm like, don't say anything stupid. Oh my god, Ash, no, no.
Yeah, and speaking of killing anybody he wanted to, we got to talk about the. We
gotta pour out some liquor for my homie, my guy.
We gotta pour out some to a character that I never thought watching the first season would have this kind of beautifully told redemption arc, and that's A-Train, who's played by Jesse Usher. I never if you told me watching the first season that he would become one of the more sympathetic characters on this show and have this complete 180 and have it feel earned, especially in this, chase scene. He puts his life on the line. He saves Huey. And the whole reason he's in this spot is because he avoids running through somebody. Just tying it full circle into his first appearance on the show. And this amazing scene between Homelander and A-Train.
So funny. What was I celebrate of? You are fucking nothing.
Really? It's just an empty fucking suit.
Take away these powers. And what are you, huh? Pathetic.
I just love that.
Weak. Sniveling fucking loser.
I'm not going to show. I'm not going to show that.
Yeah, it's too raw. It's too soon.
Yeah, it is, and it's a wonderfully acted scene between both Jesse Usher and Anthony Starr, who I still do not know how Anthony Starr doesn't have an Emmy for this show.
He is locked in this season. Just it's just ridiculous. It's one of the best comic book performances of our time.
Mm-hmm.
I think
even like the smallest little twitch in Anthony Starr's face as A-Train is just greeting him for filth. He is like quivering because he knows it's true.
Yeah, that's the most fascinating thing about Homelander. I think, it's funny, we like with all of these shows we mentioned, it's just all of these compelling villains who are multi-layered and full of, pathos, with Kingpin and Darth Maul and Bullseye and Omni-Man, Conquest, what have you. But with Homelander is just such an interesting character who started out as this Superman archetype, but has slowly developed into this complicated. Like who is he really, and what is his goal really? Because, like you said, he has everything he wanted: money, power, respect. Everybody loves him, but there's just something missing. Like he knows he's so hollow and so broken that he doesn't know how to fix that inside of him, even if he's like the most powerful man in the world. It's just I'm always just blown away by how, like, the Anthony Starr conveys that vulnerability and that insecurity in this broken man of a character.
Mm. Yeah, and as strong as he is the most broken character in this entire show of broken people.
Exactly. When Frenchie's doing better than you, you're fucking up.
Yeah, and something that you said, because Homelander has everything he wants at the start of the season. And that's kind of a thing with narcissists, is that goalpost is always going to move no matter what. Like,
it's never enough.
It's never enough.
It's the Scarface thing, when you have everything at the top, but it's like, it's just, there's this pit in your stomach. It's like, no, I need more. I want more. Like, I was watching The Godfather a couple days ago, and it's just like Michael Corleone, like, all right, you got everything, but you're still greedy. And, as we've seen, that greed and that want can lead to, dire consequences, which is why, like, all bets are off the season. Like, after killing A-Train, I'm like, okay, well, we're all fucked. We don't know how to control this guy. Who's next? So that's the fear I'm putting in my heart. I'm putting, like, death stocks. I'm like, all right, who's gonna bite it this episode? Who's gonna get it? Who's gonna make it out alive at the end of this season?
Yeah, but going back to bringing things full circle, we also get the return of, I think, one of the breakout characters of the show, and another Eric Kripke alum, with Jensen Ackles' return as Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy, tell him, yes.
Yeah, who we learned in season 3 is Homelander's father, who every time Ackles is on screen, he is just brilliant. Especially
he's having so much fun just hamming it up.
Me. What? Is this some kind of incest thing? No. Then what the fuck is this? Look,
and he has some insults in this episode. I can't read them on air.
It is just so vulgar and
unbelievably just disgusting. And Huey has a great joke about it. Shout out to everybody's favorite nerd, Jack Quaid. But yeah, Jensen Ackles, I can't wait because he's getting a spinoff, Vault Rising, with the Nazi chick. She's not really a Nazi. I shouldn't say that. Aya Cash as Stormfront.
Aya Cash is not a Nazi in real life, but she
I don't want to put that out there. None of these. It's funny, you see all these actors in interviews, and you're just like, "Wow, what a bunch of like nice people playing these sociopaths."
Even like last season, they introduced Valerie Curry as Firecracker, who is basically playing Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Tommy Lauren, the conservative white, Jesus is Lord, that type. But in real life, she's gay, which is great, So it's just funny to see these people tap into these stereotypes so well. And again, that's what makes the show sing. It's just like you can watch it and go, "Oh, I know that person. Oh, I know who they're talking about."
Even some new additions to the cast that we get. I think one of the more prominent is and I don't have any clips of it, but we have Daveed Diggs, who's playing Opha.
Yes, the great Daveed Diggs.
Yeah, Tony winner Daveed Diggs, who is basically playing every mega church pastor ever, and he has so much to chew on with this character. It's so fun to watch.
He's chewing up scenery. I mean, you guys, he Hamilton, Blind Spotting. He's got a rap group named Clipping. Check that out. But I mean, he of course playing Joel Osteen on steroids. So
yeah, and people are like giving crap like they do with everything. With
the internet.
It's like the controversy of the Drewski mega church skit all over again.
Now you know that ain't no figure.
He was right.
Right? It ain't no.
Metaphors in this house. Starlight and her minions are literally possessed by demons. They they eating babies.
Possessed?
They turning little boys into little girls with garden shears. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, that's what they say in church.
Even the deep is like,
Jesus.
Even the deep is like, oh,
I don't know about this guy. So yeah, I'm very curious. It's always fun to see how Vought is satirizing pop culture and with these characters. And I mean, we got to talk about our girl Ashley. Colby Milfty just the consistent MVP for the entire series. Anytime Ashley is on screen, she's just hilarious, and now she's the vice president.
Especially because we finally learned what happened to her after she injected Compound V in the season 4 finale, where it basically just gave her a sentient tumor on the back of her head that is
psychic tumor.
Yeah, that's acting as her Jiminy Cricket. That is trying to be like her voice of reason, her like call to do good. And I'm curious.
Could we see an Ashley turn? Homelander doesn't kill her first. He's like, he can just look at her like, "What are you doing? What are you thinking about?"
Yep, we get that, the return of Soldier Boy, the introduction of Teenage Kicks with which is basically like a commentary on like these like influencer houses where we get I think the more interesting character in this, which is Countess Crow, who's played by Maitri Ramakrishnan from
very interesting.
Yeah, from that show Never Have I Ever. And her dynamic with Mother's Milk, I think, is the highlight of the episode besides all of the action stuff.
He's such a dad.
He is such a girl dad.
I like, that's what I said about like, MM's greatest superpower. He doesn't have any powers, but he just gets people. Like he's the lion tamer out of the crew. He's just like, okay, look, I'm just gonna talk to you. Like he has no bullshit. Marvin is just shoot straight. Like, look, I got a wife, I got kids. I know what you're going through. So, like, that beautiful dynamic between him and Countess Crow, where she's like, I just want to go home. I don't want to be here. I don't like this.
And it's I think the show, it's like drawing a line of morality even among the boys, because we also reintroduced Samir into this, who is a researcher who is developing the Godolkin virus. We see Annie at the start of this, who is much more jaded than we've ever seen her in past seasons. She's
right.
Like, I feel like the show is like trying to draw more parallels between her and Butcher.
Yeah, and Butcher, we haven't even gotten into the big guys. Butcher is kind of wilding, because lest we forget, he has a goddamn Cthulhu octopus killing machine in his heart.
Yeah, he got, as Jeffrey Dean Morgan put it last season, super cancer.
Yeah, and even he'll tell the boys, he's like, look, we're gonna do this mission. If you don't like it, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Mm-hmm. So the it's kind of that strained relationship, because like all these boys, they trust Butcher, but they don't trust him. They're like, all right, we're gonna do this mission because there's bigger shit out there than us. But I don't know about Billy, guys. We gotta get him straight.
Yeah, so, and we're seeing a lot of parallels between him and Annie, because like during the prison break scene, Annie pretty much states outright that Frenchie has got to be the one to go first. So we get this tension between her and Huey, because in Huey's mind, she left him in the camp.
Yeah, exactly. and yeah, that all these relationships are strained. Kimiko and Frenchie are trying to work things out. And Kimiko actually being the voice of reason. Frenchie's like, let's get out of here. Kimiko's like, no, we can't afford to do that.
In a show that is satirizing superheroes, in these characters, it's giving us a look of what heroism actually looks like. In A-Train, in Kimiko and Frenchie, which I have a bad feeling about them going into the next couple episodes. I don't feel good about
this. Like I said earlier, all bets are off. I'm scared.
Especially in the final season. But that leads us into, I think, the biggest development of the season so far, because excuse me. we get the reintroduction of the virus, but
Mhm.
Butcher has worked with Samir, who is a previous researcher, lying to him and saying that Homelander killed Vicky and Zoe, which
Not true.
not sure about that. But Zoe, Newman's daughter, is still alive and living with Stan Edgar and hiding, and Butcher killed Newman. So that's going to be a ticking time bomb in the rest of the season.
Yeah, when the Newman news hits the fan, it's gonna get messy. But this virus. Speaking of,
which is newly developed, is supposedly now strong enough to kill Homelander, but they have to test it. And so they go to the Teenage Kicks house to test it on this character Rockhard, who's basically a parody of the Thing. And there's some vulgar shit in there that I definitely cannot show.
You'll never look at lava the same again.
But that also Homelander's sick Soldier Boy onto them, which
wakes him up from his cryogenic sleep, mind you.
Which I think leaves us some grade A material.
And your discretion is advised.
Oi! Punch!
Oh shit!
Yeah, super as all of these characters are superheroes, Soldier Boy's just running. Motherfucker, can't you jump?
Yeah, aren't you Captain America? Can't you jump high or fly or run fast? Do something.
Yeah, but we see, they test the virus, and Soldier Boy appears to die, and so does the other two Teenage Kicks heroes. We see, lesions start to form on Soldier Boy. He, passes out and is in a body bag for the final moments of the episode.
But
we see because
Homelander grieving.
A little unspoken element is because Sage is not happy with Homelander. She is pretty much just on him about so you woke up Soldier Boy to sick him on Butcher to see if the virus is strong enough to kill you, right? You did it for tactical reasons, right?
He's like, yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and we see more of Homelander bullying the Deep.
I mean, Chase Crawford just plays a dumbass like
so
no
brilliant.
One else.
And in a new element, they basically make him like the guy from Fresh and Fit.
Yeah, he's got a pod. It's with Black Noir, who doesn't speak. so that tells you right there.
Oh wait, fuck! Hold it. God damn.
Oh.
God damn it! All right, but yeah, we get some look of Homelander grieving his father. Which more grade A acting from Anthony Starr.
Whenever you hear that violin.
Hello, motherfucker.
What's that about? Dun, dun, dun.
Soldier Boy rising up for Michael fucking Myers. I am so intrigued where this rest of the season goes, especially because this is the final season. We learn in the trailer that Homelander is going after the V1, which is the original version of Compound V that Soldier Boy, Stormfront, and Thomas Godolkin have taken. That basically makes him immortal.
Yeah, yep. He's going for it. I mean, we saw that clip of him in the White House. So it's about to get terrorizing. I'm scared for everyone. I'm terrified for the boys and for Vaughn. Just for what this psychopath is capable of.
Yeah, shit's about to get real in I think the best and most entertaining way possible. I wasn't a big fan of season 4 of The Boys. It kind of had a lot of the problems that any penultimate season of a show has going into it, where they know that they have a final season. So it's less about it's less about setting stakes and resolving them on this contained season. It's more about setting things up for what's coming down the line.
Right. Yeah. It was plotting along like, okay, these are all just breadcrumbs to a bigger story.
But now that we're at this final season, we really get to see the material sing, and I cannot wait to see where the rest of the season goes. This is, we've been saying it all night. I'm basically, you could put a clip of me just saying appointment viewing all over and over again. But
Appointment viewing,
this is appointment viewing.
Same. This was the show I was looking forward to the most coming back. Not only because it's the final season, but like the performances in this world is just so captivating to me. And like the way they set her up, just the way I've been saying this whole episode, just the way they've been just capitalizing and capturing like a time in America, a time in culture. This is what's happening. This is the world we're dealing with. Homelander seems tame compared to what's happening in the White House right now.
I mean, at one point during the run of the show, Homelander seemed like super exaggerated, but now there's kind of like the line of like, you know what? I don't think Homelander would do that.
Yeah, and there's so many clever writing moments and so many pop culture tidbits that just make me giggle. Like I think at one point they said Tyler the Creator was locked up. Like he's a starlighter.
Chaperone and Tyler the Creator were locked up, which is just hilarious considering how Roan was in the news the last couple weeks.
It's in like Kripke and the showrunners and the writers, they just got the crystal ball. It's hilarious. It's sad, but it's hilarious how predictable it is. Like, oh yeah, Trump would do that.
It's sad to watch it play out in real life, but it compels me though.
Yeah, right. It's kind of like watching, Fight Club and going, "Oh yeah, this is just Andrew Tate." Yeah, this is just happening. They saw it coming.
The boys, it's back. It's back for the final season. It's been some great TV. We got some great emotional stakes, especially between Annie and Huey. We got some fantastic story building with Homelander, and the fascinating thing of, because I think this is the first season since season 2 where they typically drop the first 3 episodes, but I'm happy with them just dropping the 2.
Yeah, I'll wait for this. I don't want it to go. I know people love the whole season binge thing, but this is one of those shows where you got to take your time with it, and I'm curious to see how it ends.
Yeah, and I think I had this conversation when I did my first of these streams, is that as much as I enjoy a good binge now and then, I just binged Generation Kill, which is brilliant miniseries. Definitely check that out if you haven't. But I like the week to week drop of release format.
Yeah.
It's something that I missed back when I was a kid, where all of the various shows that I watched were like appointment viewing. It's like I couldn't wait.
Get home 7 o'clock. You got to get on there.
Home from school, finish my homework, and then pop down and relax with some episode of TV. And I'm glad that we're getting more and more of that now, especially with how all of the shows that we talked about tonight are going.
Can I ask you a question? What was the first show that was appointment viewing for you?
Fuck.
Because I got an answer.
If I had to, I'm trying to think what it.
Oh, did my sound go out? You hear me?
Shit. Yeah, if I had to guess, I would say either like House MD or Bones were like my first like appointment viewing TV.
Yeah, you know what it was for me?
Yeah,
it was Smallville. Every Thursday night, 7 o'clock. I was there. Especially when Green Arrow and they were doing like the mini Justice League. He wasn't Superman. He was
They were
the
doing the
blood.
Temu Justice League.
Yeah, he didn't have the Superman suit. He had like a leather red jacket. I remember that. But
Yeah,
Smallville was
but
one of those shows where it's like, stop everything. I gotta watch it.
all right. Josh is in the chat saying what's up.
Hi,
Yo,
Josh.
Josh from the Afternoon Tune. You can find me there. We'll be but yeah, that's our show. So talked about some great TV. Jamarco, tell the people where they can find you.
Hi, everyone. I hope you enjoyed my rambling this evening. Yeah, like I said earlier, Twitter, it's _ Jamarco. That's JAMARCO. Letterboxd, Jamarco Shaw, all one word. Instagram, Jamarco Shaw, on one word. Catch me on SoundCloud, Icky, all caps. I make fun mashup things. See me on Facebook, Jamarco Shaw. I'm talking about movies and pop culture stuff and just shooting the shit. I'm just hanging out, man. Just so see me on the internet, you see me just online, say hello, say what's up. Check out my beats. Check out, the Afternoon Tune. Thank you for having me. And fuck ICE, free Palestine, all that.
Yeah. Yep, that's the show, people. You can find me on all the social media, Twitter, Threads, Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Letterboxd at Night and Day Nick. You can find me on my other show, The Afternoon Tune, everywhere you listen to podcasts, youtube.com, twitch.tv/afternoon tune. We'll be streaming this Sunday with a whole bunch of reviews for you for Faces of Death, Beast, You, Me, and Tuscany, and Exit 8.
Oh, exciting! Big week.
A lot of great reviews coming at you this Sunday. I think it'll be 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Nice.
If I'm not mistaken. I'll have to check that on again. And you can also find me right here on twitch.tv/@Night and Day Nick, and also on YouTube, Night and Day Nick. And we are out.